How you doing? Long time no see. 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks. Okay, I'm back in here for a day for a little bit. I got to gather some parts, go to the mailbox, that kind of thing. Mailbox is in the morning, but if I don't get it boxed up today, I won't get there in the morning. Okay, those of you that stopped in the Buck and Billy's live feed, thank you. There were some really nice comments about my saws. I appreciate it so much. Um, you're awesome people. His 86cc 371 build, 372, seems to be doing quite nicely. It's time to step the game up, isn't it? Okay, that was a test saw. Mild port work, good stuff. I mean, good. Mild port work. Saw seems to run out nice, and it has good tunability. Let's step the game up for Buck and Billy. And it's going to step it up for me, and more than likely, a lot of this will transfer right to you. Okay. First thing, where do we start? I am going to build a strange saw. I've got my Holzforma here that I use for a test platform, one of them, and it's going to get, this is my butchery saw. This is where this all generates from. I take one of these cheap ones, throw good crank bearings in it, the whole 9 yards, and build off that. Whatever I've learned from it, I apply toward an OEM, which is awesome. It's a better way. They don't. It's like this, guys. 372s don't grow on trees anymore like they used to. You'd find them everywhere. It's changed a lot. It really has. Okay, so let's go around some of the details. Some of this, I'm not sharing at this time because I don't have a clue. There's a couple things I will share. Okay, this happens to be a 372 piston. Now, a 371, they were single ring, which I love them to death. I like a single ring piston better than a two ring. Less parasitic drag, less cylinder wear. But it's good for longevity. It really is. 50 millimeter. I have a Wiseco here. We're going to this piston from this one. There's a little difference right there. It's hard to even show that. It's like cutting your hair in a mirror. Okay. We're going to this size bore. We're going big. This is bigger than any production saw, okay? Within reason. I mean, it's bigger than any 90cc. I'm shooting for 95cc's. I have to do a weird piston thing, a weird crank thing to get to that level. And I will be running a 395 carburetor on this. It's going to really like it. That 86cc saw has got a factory 372 carburetor, wall barrel. It's either an HD6 or HD12. Yes, this runs a 372 carburetor on an 86cc. There's reasons for that. I think some of this build should be showed. Some of it, until I know that it works, shouldn't. Just shouldn't. But when you increase this bore this much, something's got to happen. You know what's weird? I haven't checked the weights. I know for a fact this is a factory Husqvarna piston. I can shed some weight off if I have to. Guys, if you're running a Wiseco, I'm going to give you a little trick you need to know. Run a little more tolerance between your piston and your cylinder wall, okay? Because what happens is, when you first fire them, that piston gets hot faster than that cylinder by far, okay? It really, forged pistons grab out a hold of the heat. Density, you know. Yeah, there's a little more to it than that, but you'll stick it. They do need more clearance. When you know you've got a Wiseco, give that an extended warm-up time. I'm telling you guys. So, Buckin knows all this, so that's kind of neat. Okay, now all I got to do is clear it. Okay. 83 grams, 83.9. Let's call it 84 grams for the factory piston. This really big one, 107. 107. I want to see this about 96 grams. That's what I want to see, okay? There's reasons for that. The big bore for these, which is one's right here. Let me get a little bit of crud off it. The big bore with a pop-up is 94.4. So if I can get it to 97 grams, I'll be happy, okay? Because I have a trick I'm going to do with the wrist pin. This is what's nice about it. Plus, this got a little bit of a dome. That's going to go off. I'm going to get it down in the 90s. I know that. So we're good. 90-something grams. It's got to be on 100 grams or I'm not happy. Because the more weight swinging on that rod, the harder things are on it. Okay. So, let's take this little booger here. Let's see what kind of magic. Oh, yeah. As you know, I use these 390 cylinders. 55 millimeter bore. Well, this one ain't got a prayer even starting at a 55 millimeter. It don't. It's a lot bigger. This is going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to this build. Bucking will like it. And there's a reason we're going to take this little package tray off underneath the carb on this. And I'll show you here in just a minute. If I can set these down and not lose them. How have you been, people? I missed you. I have had 3 weeks of hard work. Hard work. Well, not that hard. Hard for an old fart like me. Trying to get ready for winter. We had a lot of loose ends that had to be taken care of. And I think I did it. I really do. I hope so, because I'm out here. I haven't even lit my stove yet. It's cold. Woke up to 13 degrees Fahrenheit. That's cold, isn't it? Welcome to Western New York. No, we didn't get that snow that Western New York got. That's further west than us, 2 hours. They got over 6 feet in places out there. We get that lake effect snow, but I'll tell you what, it didn't have the wind to blow that snow here, so they got it all. We normally get part of it. They got it all, every bit of it. We got 1 inch. But, like I said, we got cold. It is cold there. My poor buggery hands. They get hurting, especially in the winter. Okay, we got this tray off. Now, what I'm trying to do, I need to show you what I'm trying to accomplish. Those of you that know two-strokes well know that a lot of the modern motocross two-stroke dirt bikes have case-fed reeds. Some of the older ones have, they're fed in a normal intake location with a window in the piston. I would love to see a 372 with case-fed reeds. I was trying to dig up another 371 for bucking, but I can't find enough parts to get the 371. I don't have the cases. That's what I need. I don't need anything else. I need 371 cases, and I could do it. Okay, what I'm going to try, and I'll show you. To get a reed block for case fed, you see this little area right in here? See, I've got that width to work with. I've got this area to work with. Now, what I've got to do is I have to remove part of this. See that gas tank? Front of that gas tank, that whole top of that's got to come off and be plastic welded. It's got to do that. And what that's going to allow me to do, if I can do this, is put a set of reeds down through there. Just boom. And that's what I want. So I need the whole reed cage. Boom, right down in there. Excuse me. Now, the second thing that's got to happen is after I figure that out, I got to figure out how to mount that. I think I'm going to build a plate, mount it on the saw body, something that's removable in the event that I want to split the cases. It looks like I'm going to lose one hole. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Okay, and what I'm referring to is one of the case mounting holes for, the case bolts. But as I look at this one here, I got this in a horse trade from a local guy. He lost this clip. Pretty impressive, huh? It is what it is. Okay, so after cutting this whole area here out, which will weaken that slightly, it's not in a case hole. Okay, you see right here, there's one case bolt and that one. Right between them two is where that reed cage has got to go, which is right here, in this area here, from here to here. But realize that's not a very wide area to work in. We're not running monster reeds in this one. I want to get to where I am, but I got to do things a lot different than I am. Walk before you run, guys, when you come up with something new. Okay, once that I cut that gas tank off, get down through there, figure out how to build a plate, how exactly I want it, and get it where it bolts on to them cases after they're assembled. We have to be able to maintain a saw. That has, I'll set this down. I have a personal requirement. And I'm going to turn this camera down. That carburetor sits approximately right here, okay? So the top of the reed cage needs to be approximately right in here, and I have to be able to use the factory boot. That's for steel, but I have this one out for a reason. I might use this one. Well, maybe I won't. I know what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a 390 boot or a 395 boot. Maybe we'll do that because we're not going in the intake. This intake right here is going to do absolutely nothing. I'm going to have Dyno Joe bore this and sleeve it to this piston, this big old bugger. And that sleeve is going to block that intake hole. Isn't that convenient? Amongst others. Now, I did make this fairly easy to put these cylinders on these. I really did. See, that just pump goes right on there just like magic. So I'm using this particular cylinder to mock this up. And you can see that we actually, by just cutting that ring here off, have ample room right in here. But unfortunately, a little bit of the gas tank's got to go. If any of you have experience with cutting a hole in a gas tank deliberately that doesn't leak, and then figuring out how to not make it leak, get a hold of me. Leave it in the comments. Let's go down this road. It's our journey together, guys. It really is. I'm going to use, if I can make these reeds work the way that I want to, it's got to be right. I mean, I'm not sending something to Buck and Billy that isn't something I wouldn't run, right? I won't send it to nobody if I won't run it. So, the things that have to be thought of: throttle cable placement, reed block placement, and how am I possibly going to get 95 cc's? Well, when you start taking cranks apart, and you start taking rods off, and you start taking next thing you know, you end up with this really goofy combination. A really, really strange combination. Here's what I can build now on the 372 platform. 90% of it is Roten Stone. It's the 10% it's going to get me. 86 cc, 88.6 cc, 90 cc, 94 cc, 95 cc, and 100 plus little cc right now. This is what's possible. This is with strokes of 36 millimeter, 37 millimeter, 38 millimeter. Now the hard one's going to be a 40 millimeter stroke. But if I can get a 40 millimeter stroke to swing in this small of a case, I can get to 122 cc's. So we have a nice journey here, a really nice one. Unfortunately, through all this process, I have 4 MS660s. Well, it's 3 MS660s and a 66 mag for a local guy that need to be gone. They need to be out here. And so I've got a week or two while Joe's getting my cylinder up for me. Joe, thanks, man. I couldn't do this stuff without you. And I'll tell you another thing is, Ryan at Wolf Creek Saw Shop, thank you. In Buckins 86cc, I'm going to tell you now, that has nothing in that rotating assembly that's factory. That crank is not. That's an aftermarket crank. Okay? In fact, that's a highway crank from Wolf Creek. The piston and the cylinder are both aftermarket. They're highway. Yes. They just, nothing matches. It's not supposed to be together, but if you scratch your head long enough, you'll figure it out that, wait a minute, I can get this stuff together. Now, interestingly, I have these 56 cc's that Joe's done, and he does fantastic. He drills on little holes in the transfers for me so that I can go ahead and cut them out. Yeah, good stuff right here. Real good stuff. It helps so much. We have Sawzilla has sent us 2 coils for the Stihl 056 and 56 mags. I didn't bring them out here. They're sitting on the table. I wanted to show them to you. We can get the Bosch coil and the SEM coil. We can get that now from Sawzilla. But the SEM coil does not fit a lot of the, like the 041 Super, 045 Super, stuff like that. They're a different SEM coil. I'm going to have to make this video soon, very soon, on how to tell which coil is which. But if you got the Bosch coil, you're good to go. If you got a 56 Magnum, you're good to go. You'll be able to get it right from Sawzilla. Gus is a nice guy. Give him a shout. We do have some parts that will be coming shortly, as soon as I ask for them from Sawzilla, that Wolf Creek doesn't handle, like tanks, top plastic, stuff like that, and carburetors. This makes it nice to have 2 places to get parts that doesn't have the same things, okay? Because I'm loyal to Ryan, because he's been loyal to me. I'm not letting him down. I'm not. Go see Ryan at Wolf Creek. Tell him Iron Horse sent you. And Gus at Sawzilla, thank you for everything. Gus is a nice guy. Real nice guy. I know a lot of you have already ordered parts from him. There's many, many more to thank. Brock Bradley at B-Ray Farms has sent us bars. Okay? I need to get his phone number, but his email is brayfarms@gmail.com. That's where you get your Archer chain. Okay? Nothing wrong with it. If I was logging full-time, I wouldn't use Archer chain. I'll tell you that right now. But I'm cutting firewood now. The one thing I will tell you about Archer, it's a nice chain for firewood. It's slightly softer tooth, has a nice cutting profile. It lets you sharpen it easier. Okay? It dulls just a little faster than a good Oregon or Steel or Husqvarna. Okay? You get the same performance out of it. But if you're cutting firewood, the price point, when you're talking half the money, or less than half the money, third of the money in a lot of cases, depending on what chain you like, that's a no-brainer, isn't it? If I had all the money that God intended, I would still use this Archer chain. I want to show you some bars here. Now, Brock knew that I am going to get in to cutting a few big trees, which I haven't even told anybody about this yet. But if you are occasionally going to cut a great big booger, and you seriously don't want to spend a fortune on a big bar, Archer Pro Max. See, look how long this is. It's like this long. See, big bar. I will be using this. These Archer bars are nice for the big stuff. Loggers. Guys, if you're running it once in a while, you got to run a long bar. It's a perfect bar. If you're cutting timber this size every day, you want to go to something else. You'll get top rail wear, but it's a nice rigid bar. They actually put decent oil holes in these. They did. It's a nice chain. I think this one's a 36. And something that I didn't know we could get, which Brock Bradley has, is these Samara long bars. And for some reason, these have a nicer oil hole. This is a 36-inch for 50 gauge. It's not the lightweight, but, you know, when you're in a long bar, you got a big saw on it. You get where you don't worry about the weight. This is a nice deal. He's got these two in stock. Now, I'm going to warn you, if you want a new bars, there's only a limited supply of them right now. You better get your order into Brock. He gave me a list of what he's got. I didn't bring the list out with me, but it'll be covered in another video. Get a hold of Brock Bradley at B-Ray Farms. It's brayfarms@gmail.com. Tell him Iron Horse sent you. Guys, these 372 builds are incredible. They're really incredible. I have a P41 Pioneer that I built, 8 months ago or something for Buck and Billy, that I'm still in transition on. I put the 372 piston and cylinder on it with a spacer plate, relocated coil, different coil actually, but made it work. Works good. I'm not done with that yet. I'll tell you why. I figured out that I can go to a totally different cylinder, not use a spacer plate, and have a nicer saw out of it. So, this is a journey. Probably around Christmas time, I'm willing to share that build. I have other builds that I've done that I have not shared yet, mostly because of time. There's only so much time in a day for me. Now, what's really nice, in January, I'm going to be 62, and I'm going to retire. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be different. I'll have more time to spend with you guys. This is going to be, I'm not taking, actually from here on out, I'm not taking outside work. I'm just not going to do it. It's just been too many years of the hard, rough stuff. It really is. I got to go find me a pair of logging boots. I got holes in one of mine. My right boot Would you believe my right logging boot has got a rip in it? What it is from, that must be where I dig right in and lean. I got to find something comfortable. The one thing is, my feet don't hurt yet. I got tough feet. I learned that one early in the game. I can walk out in a blizzard barefooted and not even care. It is what it is. But my hands, like Bill Black says, me poof hands, my hands hurt. They're better than they were. 3 weeks ago, it was bad, but they're better than they were. Guys, I'm gonna cut this short. I love all of you. You stay tuned for these builds. You're really gonna get a kick out of it. I believe boxing this up, Joe. This stuff's on your way tomorrow morning. I'll send you the tracking number, and thank you so much. Go check out Dino Joe. He's doing amazing work. Amazing. There's a lot of these smaller channels that are really getting a big charge out of. Big charge out of. And there's a few that can just get off my planet because they're nasty. And they're mean people. They're very mean people. But I don't care if they pick on me. I don't want them picking on you. I don't accept that. I think pick on me all they want. I learned a long time ago in the performance motorsports and motocross that if you're a winner and a showstopper, you're going to get haters. So you want to judge how your channel is going, see how many haters you get. The more haters you get, the better you're doing. You're not going to get along with everybody anyway. Don't even try. I have got it made. I understand that early in the game. Before I even started YouTube, I knew this. I really did. Let's put a middle-of-the-road crazy, not stupid crazy, build together for Buck and Billy out of this. Not this particular saw, but this concept. If any of you got something you want to add, throw it in the comments. I read all the comments. I've got a problem with my emails. I get a tremendous amount of emails a day, and I try hard to keep up and get rid of. But for the last 9, 10, 11 months, I noticed people are getting a hold of me. I emailed you. Well, I didn't see no email, so I'm not getting them. Well, we solved some of the problems. How do you do a core dump on all your emails? Is there a way to do that? Can I star the ones that I have to respond to or need information from and do the rest of them? Does anybody know how to do that? Because I got a real freaking problem with emails. Right now, I don't know if I'm getting any emails. I'm getting some notifications, but I noticed that over the last 2 months, they've just been come down to a little screeching halt. I got to fix this, guys. I really do. Love you all. Got to go. Goodbye.